Opposing quarterbacks, beware. What's going on, Broncos country? Welcome into our fourth Denver Broncos Syndicate positional deep dive video for the 2025 season. I'm your host, Gage Madrid. On this series, we go in depth on each position group for the Broncos, assess their strengths, assess their weaknesses, and determine how they're going to be contributors for this season. And today, I am really excited for this episode. We're going to be diving into the edge rush room for the Denver Broncos, probably the deepest position group for this team entering 2025. This is going to be a really fun one, Broncos country. But before we dive in, if you could just do me a big favor and smash the like button on this video, as well as subscribe and ring the bell so these videos appear in your notification feed, I would really appreciate it. Those are both free and easy ways to show your support. It helps tell YouTube's algorithm to push us out, and it helps us get seen by more and more members of Broncos country just like you and me. Additionally, we are trying to grow the membership community here on Broncos Syndicate. If you want to go above and beyond in supporting the channel and helping improve the production quality of these videos, you can do so by hitting the join button located below the title of this video. I know some of you guys were struggling to find where this join button was, so I thought I'd hop in and show you guys real quick. So we are on my channel's homepage right here. If you guys just look up Broncos Syndicate and go to my channel, it'll take you to this homepage right here, and this is where the join button is, right here next to the subscribe. Let's just go ahead and click on a video real quick here. Consistency. And the join button is right here on the videos, right next to my title, or right underneath my title and right next to my channel name and subscriber count. That's how it looks on PC. And then on mobile, it's not focusing well, but you guys can see that white button right there. It says join. It's not focusing, but that white button that's underneath the title next to my channel name, that is where it will be on mobile. So that's where these buttons are located on PC and mobile. I'm not sure how to do it on a smart TV or if you're on some sort of weird device like that, but that's where the button would be located on PC and on mobile. Not mandatory. You will still receive the same content if you do not want to support the channel monetarily, but if you are so interested, please click the join button down below. There are two tiers that you can choose from. And without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the meat and potatoes of today's episode. And we're going to start things off with a guy who is in line to get a massive payday in the not so distant future, and that is Mr. Nik Bonito himself, having an incredible season in his second year as a starter for the Denver Broncos, third year overall, and now entering a contract year with the team. He is in line to get the big bucks. 13 and a half sacks, which was third most in the NFL, 16 tackles for loss, tied for ninth most in the NFL, 2 forced fumbles, 1 fumble recovery, 1 pick six. Technically, that play against the Colts, that flying fumble recovery, didn't go down as an interception. It went down as a fumble recovery. But still, really impressive splash plays from Nik Bonito all year long. He was a sack artist that the Denver Broncos have been looking for a long time. They haven't had a double-digit sack guy since Von Miller and Bradley Chubb did it back in 2018. And finally, the Denver Broncos got 2 double-digit sack guys with Jonathan Cooper and Nik Bonito. Really awesome stuff there with them. But Nik Bonito is a guy that has maybe caught a little bit of crap from me here on this channel. It's not so much that I don't want Nik Bonito to get paid. I want the Denver Broncos to pay Nik Bonito. But I want them to be patient in their approach in doing so, especially because of the depth that they have at edge rusher. They can afford to be patient. Nik Bonito is probably going to have an awesome season next year, and by the time we get to October, if he's not already paid, he probably will get paid. But let's just say that his production takes a step backwards. The Broncos could probably then wait and assess things again at the end of the year. If he still hasn't produced quite at the same level as last season and his numbers continue to dip throughout the rest of the year, then they could think about their options. Franchise tag him, let him walk and pick up a compensatory draft pick, but I think Nik Bonito is going to be awesome next year. I do think it's also important to take a look at some of these advanced metrics and look beyond the raw stats, because I think they are going to weigh into the Denver Broncos' decision-making process if they want to pay Nick Bonito before the season begins or not. 406 total pass rushing snaps last year at edge rusher, which was 33rd most amongst edge rushers. 57 total pressures, which was 18th, and that was amongst edge rushers with at least 200 snaps last year. 10 non-sack quarterback hits, tied for 19th. 32 quarterback hurries or quarterback flushes from the pocket, tied for 26th. 12.4 pass rush win rate, 42nd in the league, again on a minimum of 200 snaps. Ugh. That one concerns me a little bit because pass rush win rate generally translates year to year, and having it down as the 42nd amongst edge rushers like that, that is a concerning metric that at least makes me want to pump the brakes a little bit on paying Nick Bonito as of right now. PFF pass rush grade, do what you want with it, 74.4, 24th amongst edge rushers with at least 200 snaps. In run defense, and we've talked about this plenty of times before, Nick Bonito is not great in run defense, and it's because of that you can't really play him on early downs. He can only come in on obvious passing downs when you're not going to risk exposing him in run defense. He played 234 run defense snaps last year, which was 43rd amongst edge rushers, but he only had 10 run defense stops, which was 47th, a 4.3 run defense stop percentage, 44th, 7 missed tackles in the run game, which was 7th most, 24.1% missed run game tackles, which was the second highest, again, minimum of 200 run defense snaps, and a 60.0 Pro Football Focus run defense grade, which was 37th. Nick Bonito's run defense still leaves a lot to be desired, and other players who we're going to talk about later are much better at defending the run, and they can be true 3-down edge rushers for this team. Nick Bonito simply isn't going to be that, especially now that the Denver Broncos have even more depth at this position. So it wouldn't surprise me if for that reason alone, Nick Bonito's numbers took a step backwards in 2025, but I'm pumping the brakes a little bit on making him a top 10 highest paid player at his position. I understand the concern about the market inflating once again, but I don't think it's going to inflate too much between now and October. I think most of the guys who are already in line to get paid have already gotten paid, and the market is going to be pretty close to what it is now in October. So I think that that's the smart approach and the conservative approach here when it comes to Nick Bonito. He had an awesome year last year, and I'm really excited to continue to see him grow. He's only 26 years old. He's still a very young player, and I don't think he's reached his ceiling yet. But I do think that the Denver Broncos just need to be a little bit conservative and cautious when it comes to the whole approach of paying Nick Bonito. But entering next season, I'm really excited to see where he takes this thing, and I'm really excited to see him hopefully reach his potential. But I will say, man, kind of lost in the sauce last year because Nick Bonito had such a strong year is the really strong year that Jonathan Cooper had. Cooper got paid by the Broncos last season, and he delivered the goods. 58 total tackles, 10.5 sacks, tied for 12th most amongst edge rushers, 11 tackles for loss, 1 forced fumble. He had 544 pass rush snaps last year amongst edge rushers. Again, minimum 200 snaps, which was 8th. 61 total pressures, tied for 13th best. 9 non-sack quarterback hits, tied for 24th. 39 quarterback hurries, which was 16th. 13.0 pass rush win rate, which was 34th. Really solid for a number 2 edge rusher. 68.0 PFF pass rush grade. And I will say that Cooper was a lot more efficient in run defense than Nick Bonito was. 276 run defense snaps for Cooper last year. 24 stops on those snaps, and 8.8 run defense stop percentage. 7th best in the NFL in both of those metrics. 4 missed tackles in the run game, which was tied for 26th. a 10.3% missed tackle percentage in the run game, 30th highest. You'll take that for a number 2 edge rusher, and a 71.3 PFF run defense grade. So Jonathan Cooper, more of an early down player for the Denver Broncos because he's much better defending the run. I think that Nick Bonito is more of your sub-down pass rush specialist, more of your base down, early down specialist. You look towards Jonathan Cooper for that category. But both of these guys had super strong seasons for the Broncos last year, and I'm really excited to see them continue to grow in this system. Cooper only 27 years old, so the Broncos have their starting tandem at edge rusher for the foreseeable future, assuming that they do extend Nick Bonito, and I'm really, really excited about the potential with these two players leading the helm. But it's not just them, Broncos country. Both Jonah Elliss and Dondre Tillman had fantastic years as rotational players for the Broncos last year. And that's important to have that rotational depth. You don't want to just have your two starters and not have anybody that you can rotate in behind them. Then your starters are going to be playing an ungodly amount of snaps, and you're not going to be able to sustain that level of production throughout the entire season. The reason why the Broncos led the league in sacks last year was because they were 4 deep at edge rusher, and then they went out and brought in 2 more guys after that. But Jonah Elliss, really great season in his rookie year. 38 total tackles, 5 sacks, 7 TFLs, 2 batted passes. He had 242 pass rush snaps, 20 total pressures, no quarterback hits outside of sacks, but he had 14 quarterback hurries, an 8.1% pass rush win rate. Really solid for a rotational edge rusher. Just a 60.5 PFF pass rush grade, but do with it what you will. It's a PFF grade. 143 run defense snaps, 8 run defense stops, a 5.8 run defense stop percentage, 1 missed tackle in run defense, and a 66.2 PFF run defense grade. Really good, man. And then you've got Dondre Tillman, who came over from the UFL last season, and he also had a great season as a rotational guy. 23 total tackles for him, 5 sacks, 5 TFLs, 153 pass rush snaps, 21 total pressures, 3 non-sack quarterback hits, 13 quarterback hurries, an 8.4% pass rush win rate. Again, really good for a backup rotational guy. 65.4 PFF pass rush grade, 81 run defense snaps, 8 run defense stops on those snaps, a 10% run defense stop percentage, and just 2 missed tackles in run defense, a 73.2 PFF run defense grade. Jonah Elliss is just 22 years old. He hasn't even come close to entering his athletic prime yet, and Dondre Tillman is just now entering it at age 27, so both of these guys still young, a lot of room to grow, and the Broncos have such quality depth even before they went out and added 2 more players at edge rusher in Q Robinson and Johnny Walker this offseason. Let's go ahead and start things off with Q Robinson, the Broncos' 4th round pick out of Alabama. And right off the bat, I expect him to be a big-time contributor on special teams as a rookie. Nick Saban said that he was one of the best special teams players that he had ever coached during his tenure at Alabama. That immediately perks your ears up. So I think the Broncos already have that role in mind for him under new special teams coordinator Darren Rizzi. But I think that Q Robinson also has potential to be really good as a rotational edge rusher as well. 23 total tackles last year, 4 sacks and 7 TFLs at Alabama. He didn't have a really big role on defense, but in the role that he did have, he shined. 109 pass rush snaps, 19 total pressures, 6 non-sack quarterback hits, 10 quarterback flushes, a whopping 24% pass rush win rate, and a 90.3 PFF pass rush grade. Holy crap, dude. You look at Q Robinson's film, he's got freakish athleticism. That translates on his get-off at the line of scrimmage. I think that this dude could be in line to maybe pick up 4 or 5 sacks just as a rotational player. I think the Broncos might rotate in 5 players at edge rusher, and I think that all 5 of them could be contributors for this team. In run defense, Q Robinson only had 100 snaps last year, 8 stops, an 8% run defense stop percentage, 2 missed tackles, and a 76 PFF run defense grade. Even if he just contributes on special teams, I think he's going to be really good in that role. But if he's able to get in on defense, offenses might not be prepared for him, and he might be able to catch him by surprise and get a couple of sneaky sacks in there or two. And then I wanted to talk about Johnny Walker, my guy from the Shrine Bowl. The Broncos signed him as an undrafted free agent out of Missouri. Getting to scout this guy in person, he's got a similar build to Nick Bonito. He wore the same number in college as Nick Bonito. He definitely has some Nick Bonito-esque tools to him. His athleticism at the line of scrimmage, his get-off, his burst, his explosiveness. I like Johnny Walker quite a bit. Walker had 9.5 sacks and 14 TFLs last year at Missouri, 258 pass rush snaps, and 42 total pressures on those snaps. And he was playing in the SEC, so it's not like he was playing against scrub competition. He was playing against good, almost NFL-level competition. 5 non-sack quarterback hits, 29 quarterback hurries, a 14.6 pass rush win rate, a 77.1 PFF pass rush grade. He had 247 run defense snaps, 14 run defense stops, a 6.1 run defense stop percentage. He had 1 missed tackle in run defense and a 74.5 PFF run defense grade. Johnny Walker is one of those guys, if he produces in training camp in the preseason, it might be hard for the Denver Broncos to let him go. It's for this reason that the Broncos might have to consider trading away one of these guys ahead of him on the depth chart. And if I had to guess right now, it would probably be between Jonah Ellis and Dondre Tillman. Maybe flip one of those guys for a draft pick. The Broncos are so deep there that it could be a similar situation to Baron Browning where they just might not have a spot on the roster for one of these guys, especially if they really like Johnny Walker and he impresses. Because if you put him on waivers, some team's going to claim him and put him on their 53-man roster. I understand that Jonah Ellis was a third-round draft pick last year, but given the fact that he's only 22 and the fact that he was a third-round pick, he might be worth the most draft capital in a potential trade. So if you were to trade Jonah Ellis, you might be able to pick up maybe a 5th-round pick in exchange for him. Some team banking on his potential, they really need some help at edge rusher. I could see that happening. I really could. This is a good problem to have for the Broncos being so deep at this position, and it creates decisions that may be tough, but I'd much rather make those kind of decisions than have to deal with a subpar rotation at a key position. Before we finish up, I did want to touch on Andrew Farmer II. He was on the Broncos practice squad last year after signing as an undrafted free agent partway through the year. I don't know if Farmer's going to be able to make this team outside of a practice squad capacity. I think that he's going to come in and compete, but how deep this edge rush room is right now, if the Broncos have to make a cut, Farmer might be one of those players that could be on the roster bubble. We'll see what happens with him moving forward, but I don't anticipate much more than a practice squad role for Andrew Farmer. All right, Broncos country, after previewing this edge rush room, how confident are you in the depth at this position? And do you think that the Broncos are ultimately going to end up trading one of these players because of how deep they are, especially if a guy like Johnny Walker impresses? Drop those comments down below, guys, and let me know who you think that player might be. Be sure to leave a like on this video as well as subscribe and ring the bell so these videos appear in your notification feed. I would really appreciate it, guys. Those are both free and easy ways to show your support. It helps tell YouTube's algorithm to push us out, and it helps us get seen by more and more members of Broncos country just like you and me. And until next time, guys, I am your host, Gage Madrid, saying peace out.